view of our organization and our cause.
Sounds like Conley's really invested in this oil business.
I guess now you know which buttons to push. Agent, let's wreck their compound. Looks like the reinforcements are coming from the Cleaner's underground tunnel system. Find a way to block off access to the tunnels, or the place will be...
Hey everyone, my name's Losmain and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be going over another build for you. So the build I have here is my skill crit build. So I'm using basically a skill build with a lot of critical hit chance, and let me tell you, it's constant damage. It's very fun to play. You're really going to enjoy it if you use it. And yeah, let's get to it. So my first piece is Coyote's Mask that has 15% weapon damage, 5% critical hit, 10.8% critical hit damage, and then the mod slot, which also has 10.6 critical hit damage. The awesome thing about Coyote's Mask is the talent, which is Packed Instincts. So you and all your allies gain bonuses depending on how far the enemies are. So 0 to 15 meters, it's 25% critical hit damage. 15 to 25 is 10% critical hit chance and damage. And then 25 meters plus is critical hit 25% critical hit chance. Most enemies you fight aren't that far, so you know these two bonuses are great, and this is good because it helps you and your allies. So first things first, I'm running 3 pieces of Hannah that give me 10% skill haste, 10% skill damage, and 5% weapon damage, which is great, especially with this build. So the backpack, I'm running Combined Arms. So what Combined Arms does is when I'm shooting enemies, I'm basically getting a 25% damage buff on my skills for 3 seconds, but let me tell you that this never goes away because you're constantly shooting at enemies, so you're always having that 25% damage buff. And on this I'm running 10% critical hit damage, 8% skill damage, and then critical hit chance on the mod slot. My second piece of Hannah U is the chest, which has Spark. So whenever I damage enemies with a skill, I get 15% weapon damage on my weapon, which is also very well. So it works for it's synchronized as well with this build. So I'm getting weapon damage and I'm getting skill damage while I shoot, or shooting with my skills. My third piece of Hannah U is the knee pads with 10% skill and then 5.9% critical hit chance. And then here I also have a Wyvern holster, which gives me 10% skill damage with 6% critical hit and then 10% skill damage rolled onto it. Yeah, it's a this build is, you know, it came together really well for me, and it's working out really well. And then my last piece is Marukami Industries gloves, which gives me 20% skill duration. So that's really good for the skill I'm using, which is the drone, and I'll get to that later. So on the gloves, I have 8.6% skill damage and 6% critical hit chance. If you're making this build, you really want to go for skill damage and critical hit chance. Maybe try to throw in a skill haste in there. I was running it with one skill haste in there, and it lowered my cooldowns by about 3 seconds. So you could do that if you want. If you want faster cooldowns, even though for the sniper turret and the drone, the cooldowns are already pretty fast, unlike in other skills. So first, I'm running my striker drone. And my striker drone is doing 67,000 damage per hit. And as you guys have definitely seen a striker drone shoot before. It shoots pretty fast, so it's a lot of damage. And that thing, I'll tell you, that thing does not stop shooting till the enemies take it down, and it works really well. And it has 2 million health, which is pretty good as well. And I'm have tier 6 on it because I'm running technician, and I'll get to that later. My other skill is the sniper turret, which is an absolute, I call it the slapper turret because it slaps heavily armored enemies, and I definitely recommend using this. And if you want, you could use a different skill on the drone, but I like using the drone and sniper because they have pretty fast cooldowns. The drone has a 20-second cooldown, and the sniper has about a 15-second cooldown, and they're awesome. I love them. One of my favorite skills. I'll tell you, my favorite things to use are skills. I like using skill builds. I find that you know, everyone's running rifle builds, everyone's running a lot of the same builds, but I like switching it up, doing hybrid builds, especially with skill builds. Like, if you haven't seen my last video, check that out. It's like a tank hybrid build, and it's awesome, yeah. So for my weapons, I'm running the tactical MK16. You could honestly use any weapon, but I'm just running this one because it has really good stats on it, and I rolled critical hit chance on it to make up for the difference that I don't get from here. And the talent is measured, which if you do run a different gun, definitely run measured with it, because measured it's awesome. So you get 20% rate of fire and for the cost of 30% weapon damage for the first half of the magazine. But once you get to the second half of the magazine, you lose 20% rate of fire, but then you also gain 30% total damage. So when you get to that second half of the magazine, that's when you're really hitting hard with your gun. Really hitting hard with your gun. And think about it. So you're hitting really hard with your gun on top of that. And then you also have your skills, which are doing a lot of damage. And then your sniper turret, which is just slapping. For my secondary, I run Surge for 25% skill damage. I don't really pop it a lot, but you know, it's just the way I play. I find it very annoying to just keep swapping to my secondary, but I still have it on there, just if I ever need to pop it. And then I just run any sidearm. I just run the sidearm that comes with Technician. So yeah, this is the build. So Technician, if you guys don't know, let me make my way over there. Technician gives me an extra skill tier. That's why I'm able to run Coyote's Mask to make up for the skill tier that I lose. So it's great. I love Technician. I think it's one of the best specializations. I also get 10% skill damage, and yeah, of course I get the weapon damages from the branches here. You get EMP grenades, and then you get extra damage against drones, skill proxies, and robotics, which is good when you're playing against Black Tusk. But yeah, that's basically my build, guys. Honestly, you could use any skills you want, but I just use the drone and the slapper turret, just because the cooldowns are pretty quick. Like, I could use Seeker Mines, but it's like almost a 45-second cooldown. You could use chem launchers if you want. You could basically use anything you want, but I think the build really shines with these two. And then also you could use any gun you want, but my recommendation is definitely using a gun that has measured and with extra critical hit chance, because you need to make up for what you're losing on your gear. I also have, for the mods, I have critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and critical hit damage, just to give me a little bit of extra damage. So let me show you actually how much critical hit chance I'm getting. I'm getting 55.2% critical hit chance, which is more than enough to constantly hit critical hits. And then I'm getting 71.9 critical hit damage. So I'm 71.9, and then on top of that, you get the talent from Coyote's Mask. You get 25% critical hit damage depending on how far they are, or you get 10. So it really works out good. Let me show you. So let me show you in the firing range how you really put enemies down with this. I always like to run it on elite, just cause on the higher difficulties that's what you're always encountering. So I'll pull this out, and then I'll put my sniper turret down, and then send my drone to start shooting. I get the weapon damage. And then look how much I'm hitting for. Look how quick. Boom. And then I could pop the sniper turret. Do it again. Look how quick you're taking that elites. Even if you do named enemies, taking them down fairly quick as well. Check that out. You just, especially the sniper turret. The sniper turret is what really helps you to break through that armor. I mean, that was what? Not even 10 seconds. So yeah, that's my build, guys. I hope you enjoy it. If you want to do something a little different, what you could do is, what I was doing before is running the Marukami Mask, and then I was running Seska gloves with skill damage and critical hit. But the Seska gloves also give you, let me see where they are. Seska gloves also give you 10% critical hit chance, which is it makes up for, so then you don't have to run as much critical hit chance on your weapon. You could probably change this out to damage to armor or something like that, and then also with your mods. So yeah, guys, this is my build. I hope you enjoy, and I'll finish it off with a clip on Stranded Tanker. One thing I want to say, definitely farm Stranded Tanker. You're gonna see I got the another exotic holster. I don't know if you've seen my last video, but I love that holster, and I recommend everyone start farming that, because that holster is getting a buff, and you'll see at the ending clip how good of a rolls I got on that holster. Well, yeah, thank you for watching, and be safe, guys.
Like a moth to the flame.
Kick her ass, Agent. That fire tower there, anything we can do about it?
There's better be a power source on it somewhere. Destroying that usually does the trick.
You and I, we're almost the same. Like the division, all our work is about providing the right conditions for life to prosper. Your ignorance is securing your ability to realize this. As long as you live, you'll be in our way.
Serious trauma detected. Agent down. An agent needs assistance. There you go. Easy peasy. Power source knocked out. Tower disabled.
bad guy, Code 4. You're doing really great. Keep at it.
Time to improvise. See if you can do anything with those valves.
Oil gas pressure redirected.
Flushed her out, Agent. Now take her down.
Agent down. That agent needs assistance.
Yes! You got her.
Well, that was something. Fire, explosions, homicidal maniacs. They're rich for my taste, but I can see why you guys like it.
You did a lot today. We shut down the cleaner's oil pipeline, got rid of Conley,